everyone, welcome back to the review station of the Transformer Dude, and in this video we will be taking a look at possibly one of the coolest Voyager class Transformers of 2024, that being the Transformers Studio Series 110 Shockwave. If you're new to the channel, I consider you subscribing to see more Transformers related content, so without further ado, let's get started. If you've seen the short that I made a little while back, I unboxed Shockwave, so if you want to see that, check it out on the tag up right above you. So back to the box. Here on the front side we can see we have the number 110, we have a really nice render of Shockwave, and we have Transformers Bumblebee, Takara Tomy, Transformers, and if you do notice, Shockwave CGI does seem tilted. Now if you do recall in the Transformers Core Class Shockwave, that CGI was not tilted, but this one is tilted. As we can see right here, it's tilted. So I'll bring that one in just a bit to show you. But overall, we can see we have a nice CG render of Shockwave, a close-up render. And right here we get a nice product shots of Shockwave in both robot mode and vehicle form. His iconic movie scene is when Cybertron falls, he transforms in 22 steps, and the little bio says, Shockwave commands the Seekers to destroy the launch pad. So basically, his only line of dialogue was destroy the launch pad, let none escape in the film. So overall, I think that the box is pretty cool, and right here we have an extended image of Shockwave right here. And if we look at the top of the box, we get Transformers Bumblebee, and at the bottom of the box, we get the words. So overall, the box is pretty cool, and I do like that the box is a thicker piece of cardboard, it's more sturdy than the 2023 boxes, which is better for figures overall. But Hasbro, please, just put the plastic thing, come on. People are gonna rob the figures, come on. I've seen it happen. And here for the backdrop, we have the same backdrop that we previously got for our Studio Series Soundwave, Cliffjumper, Bumblebee, Starscream, and many other Bumblebee movie characters. And here we have the main event himself, Shockwave. And Shockwave here has a butt ton of detail. It just has so much detail, and this thing is packed. So first, let's start off with the head. The head right here is on a swivel joint, which I'll demonstrate later, the articulation. But the head does have this unique feature that he does have light piping. So if you put your finger right here, he appears off, and then right here it appears on. So if you just like put your finger, light goes through the top of the head, comes out to this side, so it makes this figure look alive if you have lighting around. But overall, it looks really cool. If we take a look at the chest region, we have some really nice details right here. They look really great. We have some scratches painted in silver, meaning this guy has been through combat and stuff. Right here on the waist, we have some details right here as well, some silver as well. And if we take a look at the legs themselves, they do have scratches on them as well. And if we take a look at the inner thigh part, we have some nice details, mostly present during transformation, but they are really nice just to showcase. And right here we get some nice gunmetal and silver details right here, which look really cool, as well as some purple details here and there. If we take a look at the side of the figure's legs, we do get some nice treads and some nice hydraulic details with some screw details all painted in silver, which looks really cool. If we take a look at the forearms right here, the forearms are painted in purple and black, and right here we can see we have this bronzes orange area right here, as well as right here where the upper part of the arm is. So we have a really nice array of details on this figure. If we take a look at the back side of the figure, no back kibble whatsoever, which is very impressive for a Transformer, which he just did appear in the film just in his robot form, so it's a great opportunity for Hasbro to focus on the robot form and not sacrifice for the vehicle form. But overall has a lot of nice details, as well as having some silver right here and some gray right here. Even on this arm in specific, he does have an Autobot insignia. So those of you who don't know, this model was originally supposed to be Optimus Prime's model, but however, we got what we got in the film, and this model ended up being for Shockwave. Now, as far as accessories, he does come with two accessories, one being this hose and one being this cannon. So if you did see my unboxing little short video that I made on YouTube a while back, check it out on the tag right above. But we can see that Shockwave has two accessories, which are pretty cool. So one being the cannon, which is painted really nice and could even extend if you wanted to. So just demonstrating really quick how this figure's cannon looks like extended. It looks even more menacing, and it looks really cool. We have some nice silver, gunmetal, and purple going throughout this figure, so it's really cool. The hose is rubberized, so it's very flexible. You can move it around, so you should have no problem moving this guy around, destroying the launch pad at the Autobots. Now the articulation is where this figure has its downfall. The figure has really nice details as shown previously in the few 2 minutes of this video, but this figure has a lot of articulation that makes this figure kind of bad. So he does have a swivel joint, which is pretty cool, a hinge joint that is a ratchet joint, which is pretty cool. I really do like it. Reminds me of the original Transformer figures from 2014 and stuff. And he has an elbow joint, right? So you notice I missed something, a bicep joint. There is unfortunately no bicep joint on this figure, which is a very missed opportunity, but they give him a forearm joint and a wrist rotation. 2 useless joints for this figure and not a bicep joint. So the only form to really get him into like some really cool poses is rotating the bicep and rotating the arm around, but overall he just sometimes looks goofy, and you could just rotate this transformation joint if you wanted to, but it just looks weird. But overall, not me complaining. We're gonna move on. Right here we have a waist rotation, which could go all the way around. His head is on a swivel joint, could look all 360 ways, could slightly go up and down, but can't tilt side to side. Right here he has thigh rotation, so he has 2 thigh rotation, one right here and one right here. One of these joints could have served as a bicep joint for the arm, so which is a missed opportunity for this figure. But he does have a knee joint that makes up for 90 degrees right here, which is alright, and he does have a toe pivot and an ankle rocker. So overall, this figure's articulation is moderate. It's there, but it's not there. So he has 2 useless joints and a useless arm, which if those joints were on the arm, it would have made this figure so much better. But overall, not enough complaining about the figure. Let's see how this guy scales with other figures. Right before I show you the scale, I did want to show you this little part right here. Right here, the shoulder pad looks like it was initially supposed to fold. However, they added this little piece for no reason, and then this piece won't fold, as this piece would probably be restricting the bicep joint. So they made this shoulder pad movable, but then they added this, so no bicep cut out for some reason. Thank you, Hasbro, for that. So starting off the comparisons, we'll go from smallest to biggest. First, I bring in the Studio Series Concept Art Rumble, and I brought him really close to Shockwave because we could see the size difference between a large Voyager class and this very small core class. This guy is very miniature and very minuscule to Shockwave, so I can imagine Shockwave getting mad at Soundwave one day and destroying one of his minions at one point. Yes, the figure that started it all. The figure that started core class for Studio Series and initiated core class almost every other continuity after Studio Series. Core class, Shockwave. Basically, if I were to put this is the dad, this is the baby, and they are exactly the same. The transformation is literally the same for these figures. I kid you not, I will literally transform this guy in like 1 minute and this guy in like a minute and a half. They're literally the same. Here we have the Transformers Buggy version of Bumblebee. Possibly the worst Studio Series entry ever besides Studio Series 79. But we can see that Bumblebee and Shockwave, they scale very different from one another, and I do like it. It looks really cool. Even though this was based on concept, this kind of as well, but I really do like how they look. And here we have the 2 main villains of Transformers Bumblebee, that being Dropkick and Shatter. We're gonna go through some rapid fire comparisons, so here we go. We have B-127 and Sentry, Wheeljack and Ironhide, and Brawn and RC. And the crappy molds of Dropkick and Shatter, I personally like to call them their Cybertronian molds, even though these molds are crappy. And finally, here we have Optimus Prime and Soundwave. The reason I brought in Optimus Prime and Soundwave together is that the original character for Optimus Prime, his character design, was supposed to be Shockwave, then it was supposed to be Soundwave, then they ended up making this. So overall, we can see the evolution of time between the 3D imaging or model or CGI between the character, but overall it looks cool. Honestly, look, we could see that Shockwave is a very large Voyager and Soundwave is a medium regular Voyager. I got both of these at the same price, so it's quite funny that that this guy is bigger than this guy. And speaking of big guys, here I brought in Starscream and Megatron. And right here, Megatron. Remember this, Megatron is a Voyager that costed me around $50, and Shockwave's Megatron's a leader class that costed me around $50. Shockwave's a Voyager that costed me around $28. We could see the size difference between these characters, and I'm really mad that this guy is not bigger than he should be. And Starscream as well. I feel like Starscream is it's a really nice look for Starscream and very cool. I personally don't mind, but I feel like Megatron should be bigger. What you did, Hasbro? You made a big Voyager and a small leader. Again. Why can't you just make the leader classes bigger? And less rare too? Nah, I'm just joking. The leader class Megatron is literally perfect and the most peak figure I have in my collection. I don't really mind the size that much. But overall, I did want to show you how to incorporate Shockwave's blaster onto his arm. So the first step, if you haven't done so already, just remove this right here. I'll just show you how to do this really quick. I have to remove everything. But overall, we have this blaster, which looks really cool. We have a lot of nice details from the top. It looks like this. So overall, you're gonna have to do this. So once you get the figure out of the packaging, the hand is gonna come out. It's gonna be out like this. So what you have to do per transformation step, it's kind of a transformation step. You could do it both ways. You could have this just enclose over the hand, but I don't find that to be all that secure. I know the YouTuber Prime vs. Prime did it like that, so I'm not sure how he did it like that. But I personally like to close mine like this, close it, and attach this onto. So there is this little port right here and this little tab right here, which do have to click into place, like so. But sometimes it's quite difficult to do. So just click that into place. Like that. Once we have that, we could attach this hose. So this cannon works on both arms. So you could attach it on this arm or this arm, however you prefer. I personally like this one for a more movie accurate design. But if you want a Darker the Moon kind of theme going on for this character, you could have it on this side. So how to attach the hose? There are two little ports. That's why I mentioned it. It's on. You could do both sides because you could attach the port on any side you want. You could attach it right here, and you just attach this port right here. So overall, that's how you attach Shockwave's port, and I think it looks really cool. So you could have Shockwave commanding the Seekers to destroy the launch pad. And I know there's going to be that one person asking to see how it looks, so here's how Shockwave looks with the Dark of the Moon aesthetic. So, transformation. Just think of this transformation as the core class figure, if you have that figure, upscaled. So, I'll play the music, and you sit back, enjoy, and grab your Shockwave figure to transform him up. And there we have Shockwave fully transformed into his Cybertronian tank form. Now, his Cybertronian tank form takes inspiration from the Cyberverse series, I'm not sure, but it looks cool. Shockwave never transformed into any of the live-action films, so it'd be great to see what he would transform if he would actually appear. But overall, we could appreciate what Hasbro has done. They gave us another clump of metal. Cool. So we have this clump of metal here, and it looks really cool. I do like how the cannon does point forwards and out. It looks really cool. And he does remind me of the core class Shockwave, which is a very direct carryover of this figure. So if you have that figure, you can literally follow this transformation more simpler. Like the Shockwave transformation here is a little bit more complex, whereas the other one is simpler. So you could just literally follow both, and it's exactly the same. So bringing in the Shockwave right here, they are the same transformation. Both pieces align here. Both feet have to fold like this. Both cannons connect to this part near the head. Our forearms have to rotate. The shoulders have to align with the hips. So overall, this figure transformation is very similar to the core class figure. But I do like it. It's alright. Mostly the robot form is where it shines the most. And I could just use it as a display piece, not really pose it a lot, but it looks really cool. So, some final thoughts for the Transformers Studio Series 110 Voyager Class Shockwave. It's actually one of the coolest figures in my collection, not gonna lie. Even though the articulation is, let's say, it's a piece of dog dookie. Let's say it's not that well. The articulation on the arms is not that well. He has unnecessary articulation with the legs, but overall I really do like the figure. He scales well with other figures, and the color palette of this figure matches his G1 translation. I do like the cannon, how it's interchangeable to both arms, and they even put the Autobahn insignia on his right arm, which would be like what Optimus Prime was originally supposed to have. So I think that's a really nice attention to detail. I do like the light piping. It is pretty cool. However, it isn't that reminiscent. I know I didn't showcase Megatron in his tank form, but I'll just show you some images of how he looks like. But overall, I really do like how Megatron and Shockwave, they do look really cool with one another. Shockwave being a Voyager is eye to eye with Megatron, and even though Megatron's a leader class, I really do like how these characters literally look all with each other. I do like having Shockwave, Megatron, Soundwave, and Starscream together. The four original main Decepticons of the continuities look really, really cool. So I'm really glad I finally got the main cast rounded up for the film. I just need Starscream's little companions being Thundercracker and Skywarp, and I just need the core class Starscream, and then the collection's complete. So overall, it's really cool to have this figure. I do recommend him. For those of you who don't have him, at Target you could buy him for $27.99, $28. For tax, it would come out to $30.18, depending on where you live, or $31. But overall, I feel like $31 to $30 to $28 is practically the best price for this figure, as the missing articulation makes up for the cheap price. So that about concludes my video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Do you have this figure? Are you planning on getting him? Are you going to upgrade your core class Shockwave? If not, tell me in the comment section down below. So I'll see you guys at my next video. Thank you for watching.